Hello students, welcome in Zahra's classes, and today we are here to study about a very small poem, Dust of Snow, written by Robert Frost. Students, this is a very small poem of 2 stanzas containing 8 lines, and it tells about the how to combat with the negativity or how to combat with our mood swings, and how a nature or a very small thing which is not considerable in our life can change our life view and vision as well as our thinking and spirit. Students, in this lecture today we will study about the poem. The poetry reading section is also there. We will read the poem. Small explanation of 2 stanzas is there, and explanation of essential poetry tools and figures of speech is also included in this. So let us start with the first thing, that is about the poet. And the poet, as you know, is Robert Lee Frost, and he is one of the famous American poet. He was one of the famous American poet, known for his realistic depictions of rural life, and he had a command of American colloquial speech. What is colloquial speech? It is a very speech which is used in very familiar conversation. It is not very, you can say, decorative speech, or it is not very decorative speech, as well as it is a very familiar speech which anyone can understand. Now, he was awarded with the Congressional Gold Medal in 1960 for his poetic works. Some of his works and collections I have mentioned here. Poetry's collection is A Boy Will, The North of Boston, Fire and Ice, and plays, some of are here to be mentioned. A Way Out, it is one act play, and A Mask of Mercy. So this was a very brief This was brief about the poet Robert Frost, and today we will read one of his beautiful poems and move further with that. So the poetry reading is here. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Students, this is a 2 stanza poem having 8 lines. As you can see, it's a very small poem that has a very deep meaning in it with a message. In this poem, the poet is talking about a winter's day and about his negativity, and he is connecting with the dark shades of the nature and with his mood. Both the things are related to each other in this poem, and how this dark shades of nature turns out a mode, a source of happiness for him. 2 messages are given in this poem. One is how one can combat with one's negativity, how negativity brings nothing in life, and another message is given that whatever we consider, sometimes we consider very small creatures or little creatures which are linked with negativity, negative aspects of life, how they can bring change and happiness in our life. So in these 2 paragraphs, the poet has tried to explain all these things, and very sweetly and very nicely the points have been kept here. So coming on with the explanation of the first paragraph. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So here the poet is set in a scene where the poet is in a very bad mood, and he is walking, and it is a winter's day, and he is walking and sitting by a tree, and the tree mentioned here is a hemlock tree. Now, a hemlock tree is considered as usually associated with poison and toxicity. Okay, so here the negative or dark aspect of nature is taken. Here it is associated with that. And hemlock tree is usually associated with poison toxicity. As you can say, hemlock, a poison in hemlock is also being made. So hemlock tree, the poet comes near a hemlock tree in a winter day, and he sits there, and he is in a very bad mood. Then what happens here in this part of poem, the three natural agents poet has shown how these three natural agents are connected with the poet's mood. What these three agents are: hemlock tree, dust of snow, and crow. They are used to describe the bad mood of the poet, as hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. Crow is considered as indicator of fear and bad luck, whereas dust is something unwanted. All the agents are signifiers of sadness and negativity. As you can say, all the three things that have been that I mentioned in the first paragraph, they signifies the sadness and negativity. These are all natural things, and one considers them as the negative part or negative aspects or negative things in nature. Okay. So similarly, poet's mood is also described as that, because he has used all these natural agents to depict his, to tell about his mood. Similarly, poet describes himself that he is in a very bad mood due to something happened in past that was not good for him, and he is sitting and regretting for it under this hemlock tree. Then what happens? As he sits under the tree, a crow comes and shakes the branches of tree. And this tree is, as you know, it's a winter time, so this tree is laden with snow particles. After which a sudden change in mood of poet takes place. When the crow comes and sits on the tree, it shakes the branches. Accidentally, somehow the particles or the pellets of the snow, they fall on the poet, and there is a sudden change, there is a sudden swing of mood, and he then his spirit is refreshing, and he then explains this in next paragraph. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Rued means regret. So what the poet is saying in these lines, that for some unknown reasons the day of poet was terribly bad. He was wasting his time totally sitting under the tree and regretting his past, or regretting what had happened, or something bad has happened in his life to which he was regretting, and in doing all these things he was wasting his time. He was regretting things that happened in his past, and so was in a very sad mood. But as the crow sat on the tree and it shook itself, the snow pellets fell on him. The snow here is a positive thing that poet has used. Snow is white, white is peace, and as snow fell on his head, what happened? Immediately his mood changed. From sad mood he immediately became glad, and apart from that he started feeling that he should not have wasted his time. Here the poet explains exactly that in what way the shower of snowflakes had effect on him. कैसे ये snowflakes जो हैं उसके ऊपर गिरते हैं, and there is a change in his mood, and these snowflakes had a very positive effect on him. He says that it changed his mood, and earlier he had been in this despairing mood, but the shower of snowflakes falling on him all of a sudden gladdened his heart. उसके heart को एक खुशी provide किया. In addition to this, there was another effect that the shower of snowflakes had on him. He says that particular day was one that he had not been looking forward, and he was very sad. He was not looking forward to do anything. He was not at ease to do anything. He was not willing to do anything because he was regretting his past. He was sad with something that happened in past. So with the fall of the snow pellets, this thing also happened, and he started experiencing that his day was wasted, and he should not waste the remaining part of the day. Okay. So he decided in his mind that on that particular day that it would not go waste, and the shower of dust like snow on his shoulders in this way changed his mind. It made him feel these snow particles, they made him feel that no, there should not be any wastage. Although we are in despair, although I am in full negativity, I have to fight with that, and I should not sit and thinking about that and wasting my time. So students, similarly, here there is a message that in our life, in everybody's life, there are lots of problems. Sometimes sometimes the problem is very small, sometimes the problem is big, but taking those problems and sitting with those problems is not the solution. One should move ahead, move further in life, because life has given so many ways to find solutions, and it is the nature that helps every wound to heal. So in this poem, poet gives two messages, that, and another thing that is mentioned is that what changed his mind, that the crow, the hemlock tree, the snow, the dust. Here dust is also considered as a waste. So here all these three things that are considered as waste or that are considered as unwanted thing, they have helped the poet in changing his mood and taking the things in positive manner and using his day in a better way. So one should not consider anything as a waste or anything as very small, because sometimes these small things also help us to bring change in our life, bring happiness in our life, as well as bring luck in our life. So it's a very beautiful poem with a very beautiful message. The summary says that generally hemlock tree and crow are used for negative references, but here poet used them beautifully to portray that inauspicious, that is unlucky things can bring joy and happiness too. They are also there. Although they are considered as unlucky, but sometimes these unlucky things also bring joy. They bring change in our life. The use of combination of poisonous hemlock tree and crow, that the indicator of fear, is ironical, as they are used in the poem as carriers of happiness. Okay, here irony is there. As they are in regular life also, hemlock tree, crow, they are indicators of fear, sad, bad, negativity, everything. But here, although it is considered as negative things, but poet has used as a tool, as a carrier of happiness. So poet through these objects had tried to highlight that sometimes what happens, creatures or things linked with negative aspects of life can be reasons of change and happiness. Being outdoors in nature with all its unpredictability, that is unchangeability, can benefit anyone. We cannot predict nature. Nature को हम predict नहीं कर सकते कि यही होगा. Nature it's very unpredictable. बहुत जल्दी change होता है. It's not stagnant. तो बहुत जल्दी change होता है. So one cannot predict, or one cannot assume that this is only going to happen. It can change any time, any moment, and the cause or the reason may be any small thing. So at any time change may happen. Although there is negativity in our mind, lots of problem in our life, we should always move with a positive gesture, positive attitude, as well as try to combat with this, because every problem has a solution. There is no problem in the world that is without a solution. Sometimes the solutions are obtained very early and in a very easy way. Sometimes it is very difficult to get the solutions, but definitely we are going to get the solutions, and we get the solutions. So students, one must not take things for granted and should be open and accept whichever way the nature chooses to bless us. So it's the choice of nature. It chooses us for any kind of exam or for any kind of trials, and we should be ready for that with a very positive attitude. So beautiful poem written by Robert Frost. Students, read the poem and you go through the things. The entire gist is given here. Now coming on to the next part, that is That is the explanation of essential poetry tools and figure of speech which is used here. As you can see, first scheme we will see is the rhyming scheme. What is the rhyming scheme used over here? A B A B C D C D. A B A B C D C D means what? Let me explain you. The Dust of Snow is a very short poem of 8 lines, and the full rhyme scheme of AB is clearly visible in the ending words of each line. Like as you say, as we will read this, the way a crow. So in first line the ending word is crow, shook down on me, this is line B, and in next line again we will consider it as the dust of snow. So here it is crow and here it is snow. So crow and snow, as you can say, crow and snow, they are rhyming. So AB and again AB. So it is AB or CD rhyming scheme is here. So the first thing we came to know about this poem is the rhyming scheme is AB CD scheme is here. So alternate lines, the last word is rhyming with each other. So here crow rhymes with snow, me rhymes with tree. So this is the scheme. Then coming on to figure of speech. Figure of speech is the tool which any poet uses to beautify his poems, where there are certain tools are used. So the very first thing we find here is alliteration. Alliteration is the occurrence of same letter. Same letter is there or same sound is there. Sometimes in the beginning, adjacent or closely connected words are there, and the sound is the same. Same letter sound is there. So the example is has given my heart and saved some part. So in first line you see ha, H. So here pronunciation of H, occurrence of H is there, and the sound H, ha is coming every time. So here the thing is the part of figure of speech is alliteration. The second line is and saved some parts. Saved, saved some. So here again there is a repetition of the same letter sound. So this is alliteration. So the figure of speech used here is alliteration. There are some more figures of speech. Let us see what are they. Third one is assonance. Assonance is the prominence of a vowel sound throughout a line. In a line when you read, there you will experience a sound of vowel E, O, A, E. So all these sounds, if they are prominent throughout the line, then the figure of speech used is assonance. As in this example, shook down on me. So O sound is very prominent. You will see O sound is going on throughout the line. So the another figure of speech is assonance. Coming on to next figure of speech, and this next figure of speech is metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech that describes an object. एक ऑब्जेक्ट को डिस्क्राइब किया जाता है इट्स एक्शन इन अ वे दैट इजंट लिटरली ट्रू but helps explain an idea or make a comparison. Sometimes it is comparison, not exactly, but it tries to describe any object, although the description is not literally true. So in this poem the poet compares falling of snowflakes from hemlock tree. Okay, so here falling of snowflakes from hemlock tree is compared with dust, to dust. Okay, snowflakes are not dust exactly, but here the poet is comparing these snowflakes as comparing them to dust. So here the next figure of speech used in this poem is metaphor. Coming on to the next figure of speech is synecdoche. In synecdoche, a part is used to designate the whole or the whole to designate a part. Okay, any part is used as a whole. एक छोटे पार्ट को बड़ा पूरे कंप्लीट पार्ट में डिस्क्राइब किया जा सकता है, या एक बड़े पार्ट को छोटे पार्ट में डेजिग्नेट किया जाता है. एज यू विल अंडरस्टैंड विद दिस लाइन, इन द पोएम द पोएट सेज हिज हार्ट अंडरगॉन अ चेंज इन मूड. which actually represents his entire personality. And in this poem, the entire personality gets a boost up, a change. The mood changes means entire personality, a person's gesture, a person's way of looking to a particular object, a person's way of moving, walking, smiling, everything is there. So here the entire personality is shrinked into heart. So here the another figure of speech used is, here the another figure of speech is Selecto. So students, I hope that you must have understood the tools also which were used in this poem, and the gist of the poem, the summary of the poem, with a very beautiful message given in this poem. So thank you students. Read the poem, and again we will see the next poem in the next lecture. Stay tuned and subscribe Zaira's classes for further lectures. Thank you.